So this is Amarjot Singh. I'm talking to, what's your name? I'm
Ishrita.
Ishrita. Okay, and you are in somewhere in Toronto, I think.
Yes.
Acha. ਦੱਸੋ ਕੀ ਹੈ problem legal issue? What is going on so that I can give you my legal counsel?
We got a rejection letter for inadmissible on 17th of April.
Simply okay.
For, by saying that this you are not in legal relationship. It's not true.
You are not in legal relationship. It's not true. Okay, so let me just understand
But
a few things about your background. How much long? What is the length of your marriage? How many months have you been married?
it's been 3 years, and we used to stay together. We know each other before.
Okay, so your husband was interviewed
Yes.
one time or two times?
No. He was a student in here, and then there are lawyer paralegal activities lawyer. I mean, they're not lawyer. They usually sit, and that was the guy who helped us out, and he applied his visa uh, when his dates were out. I mean, even after expiring his visa, 30 days out, that was the time, and he said he was out for vacation, and he applied it. So we waited until October, and we got his first rejection in October, and then after
Okay,
that we
wait a second. Wait a second. So your husband was already in Canada on what visa?
student visa.
Student visa, and you got married in Canada.
Yes.
Okay, so you said that somebody applied for his open work permit after your husband's status did expire. Is that what you
Yes.
said? How much time after the status expired that you applied for the spouse visa?
Uh, in October we got rejection letter after his
No. You
status.
don't understand my question. जब husband ਦਾ permit expire ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਦਿਨ
Hanji.
ਬਾਅਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ spouse visa application launch ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ husband ਦੀ?
Maybe year or so.
After 1 year?
Hanji.
Okay, so just to understand this correctly, so after 1 year of being over expired on the status, he filed somebody filed the spouse visa for the husband, and
Yes.
and
Uh,
this
uh,
spouse visa was filed online.
yes, online, and that too out of country. I mean, he is in this country, and they applied out of country.
Okay, this is a serious legal mistake. I think is a misstep. Why did somebody apply? Just to be very simple here, both husband and wife are in Canada. The wife is in legal student visa, valid status, which is you, and the husband has expired his status. Somebody applied for his open work permit outside Canada. Why would he do that?
I did ask them that, and they are like, no, this is how it will go. Because the time they asked me to sign the form, I read it, and I read it that it says out of Canada. And I did ask them, but they're like, no, this is how it's gonna get
Uh,
applied.
I have to stop you right there so that we can do some legal analysis of this situation here. Uh, your study permit status is valid now, ongoing, I think.
I have my PNP with me, and I have applied federal file.
Okay. Wait. Look, we'll go that a little later. But right now you are legal. Your status is not
Yes.
under any question. So here's the problem with this approach. Whoever this immigration lawyer or legal consultant is, they have failed to recognize one serious flaw in this analysis, which is if the person is already undocumented or expired on his status, if at all the application is submitted outside, which it did,
Mm-hmm.
what happens if, first of all, it will be looked at some visa officer sitting outside Canada, maybe New Delhi or somewhere else, maybe in New
Mm-hmm.
York also. uh, if they decide that they have to issue you the visa, then they will have to request the passport. There's no way you can send the passport from the husband who is in Canada to outside Canada locations. So that's a problem number one. Problem number two is what happens if there is a need of examination like an interview? Then how will the husband actually leave Canada in a over expired status to travel abroad and then take an interview? Because if the visa is not granted, then he cannot come back. For these two reasons, I think it is a serious legal mistake of applying this outside. Unless the husband leaves Canada, this application should not have been applied from overseas. So this is something to understand, that if the husband had left voluntarily and went home, went to India, and they could have applied from there as a regular applicant, then it would have been no problem. But this is, I think, is a legal misstep. Anyway, so when the application was made, he was called for an interview.
No, not for this one. Uh, for the one right now, it's the fourth time we applied, and now right now he's in
Okay, okay,
India.
wait a second. We have to go step one by one. So this application was the first application that this was applied and this was refused. The first application that was applied that we were talking about, that was already refused without the
Yes,
interview.
that was all.
Okay, so tell
Yes,
me about the second application now.
and then applied. I changed my lawyer. Someone said me, okay, go with them, and they suggested me that they're gonna apply TRV for
They
him.
will apply what?
TRV.
The TRP will not be granted in this case at all. Anyway, what happened to the TRP application?
Waited for a few months for then we waited for a few months for that, and then we got rejected again.
I'm not.
And
I'm not.
at that
I'm not.
time,
I'm not surprised. The TRP has to be rejected. The TRP approval rate is less than 2% or 2.5%. Out of 100 applications, less than 3 applications will get TRP, and this is not the situation. This is not those extenuating circumstances which would allow assurance of a TRP. So anyway, what happened to the TRP refusal letter then?
and then they suggested us to ask him to go to India, leave Canada, and then we can apply dependent spouse work permit from there. And
Okay.
then further, yeah, then we
Okay. So
got that
so
rejected.
he left. So he left Canada. He went to India, and then the third application was made.
Yes,
Okay.
it
And
was fourth. It was
no, so the first application what you already described. The second was TRP. The third application was done when he left Canada to go to India. That's the third application, I think.
the first application was for his student permit when
Okay,
we
okay. Now
applied
we're not
for
talking.
extension of his student.
I'm not concerned with the student permit. So that's okay. I think
Okay,
you combine the
yeah,
student
this
permit
is
also. So
correct.
anyway, so this was the last application. So he went to India, and then he was possibly called for an interview. And
Yes,
what happened in an interview?
200 copies of our proofs that they have asked us, our photos, our chat, or the time we spent together, the our marriage photographs or anything. And what I did is, and it was my cousin's wedding, so I went to India and I made a file. We both sat at night and we made file and we made approximately 100 pages. And how it's gonna be. So we just went. We both were sure because we were like, oh, we know each other more than 5 years. Uh, and it's been 3 years. We and then
I'm listening. Keep going. I think you are breaking up. Your data is breaking up. I'm sorry. Keep going. Go ahead.
I mean, there were dates. So he said 29 to 31st, and I said 29 to 1st. They picked that thing up, and then the other thing they said this marriage is done to get status back.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. In the interview, they always have to confirm whatever is written on the application form and whatever testimony is given by the applicant. If there is a mismatch, then they will likely ask you to clarify, or they will put a misrepresentation. That means you are trying to deceive by giving wrong information. I'm looking at some information on your on the letter that you are showing. Let me just show you on the screen if I can. Give me a few seconds. Let's see if I can. So don't shake your mobile phone, because otherwise the data will disconnect. Can you see those? Can you see this on the screen? Can you see some information on the screen?
Yes, sir.
I can. Okay. So look at what are the discrepancies that they have noted right on the top. Limited evidence of time spent together, of course, after the marriage. Limited evidence of communication between you both since you returned to India after November 2019. Contradictory information has been provided by you as invited where you started living. So this is a discrepancy number one. I think your statement and her statement did not possibly match. That's why this is serious. You told me that you had stayed at a parent's house for one night, whereas according to information provided in Inviter, you did not spend at a parent's house. Do you see that? This is very serious mistakes here. This is, I mean, in a genuine marriage, husband and wife know each other quite well, and you don't forget that how many days you stayed at certain place. I mean, in this case, I think do you see the mismatch? This is serious. The next one is the ring ceremony had been planned for February to publicize the marriage, whereas the inviter made no mention of this. How is that possible?
He told interviewer that it was a surprise for me, and it
Oh,
was surprise for me.
no, 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 no. There's no surprise. There's no surprise here. They don't see it like that way. The inviter told me the wife, that is you. You must have told him that he and his relatives were invited to dinner party in January, whereas you did not mention. I mean, how this is quite uh,
Mm,
substantial event as to not to remember who's invited dinner party or not. I mean, so there are a lot of information here. Look at this. The last one is contradictory information provided by you and inviter indicates that your answer were made up. Do you see that last line?
yes.
Yeah. So, they give you 15 days, of course, as they always do. After 15 days, if they are not satisfied, they will say, sorry, brother, I'm not satisfied. And I did not show the full name of your husband on the screen, but, at the end of the day, they were not satisfied that you truthfully answered these questions. And they put a section 40 misrepresentation, which is for 5 years, blacklisting. So what I'm about to say to you is this. Look, this has been done recently. I think I didn't show the date on the screen, but when was the date? When did it? When was this issued?
Uh, on 17th of April, and
Or
I
seven?
received on
Or
20th
just
of
about
April.
4 days? Just about
Yes.
4 days from now. Look, I can tell
Yes.
you, Shraddha, I have sympathy with your situation and with your sorrow and trouble, and I'm it just it is tragic that this has happened. Right now, you have no other way to fight this to the visa officer in India. The only thing that you can do is if you think that you have been wronged, or if you don't believe that you did anything, contrary to the information, then you got to go to the federal court in Canada. If you're in Toronto, you can look up the federal court in Canada, in Toronto, and then file for a judicial review and ask the judge to review this and challenge this. That's all you can do. Right now, you have no other way. Do you understand? Hello, Shreya, can you hear me?
Uh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So that's all I can say. That this is the only thing that you can do right now.
Okay. So, can you help me out, sir, or do I need to look for someone else?
I've two things. I am not in Toronto. I live in Edmonton. I am quite far from
Okay.
you. So that's point
Okay.
number one. Point number two is that I am registered with ICCRC as a licensed consultant by ICCRC. So the ICCRC license does not allow people to go represent in federal court of Canada. So you have two
Okay.
choices. Number one, you must look for a lawyer who is registered with not registered actually. He's a member of Law Society of Upper Canada, based in Ontario. So somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's close to you, somebody whom you can trust, and they can take this
Okay.
case, take this case to the federal court, and you have 30 days to do this.
Yes.
You have 30 days, so time is running out. So I do not know if they are still open. It is very possible that because of coronavirus, they may have had reduced working hours. But you got to the 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 earliest what you can do is tomorrow. Just go to the Federal Court of Canada website, look up their phone number, call them, give them a call, and ask them are they open, and you need to file a judicial review immediately. Most lawyers, uh, just to be clear, most lawyers do not do judicial review for immigration, even though they are authorized to. But every lawyer, let's back up a little bit. Every lawyer is not a specialist in immigration law, just to be clear. Among
Okay.
all the lawyers who do immigration law, not all of them are experienced enough in JR, in immigration, so that there's a little filtering. So you need to ask some tough questions to the lawyer first, whether they actually are experienced and they would like to defend you in this case. And if they say yes, then you need to also ask them how many similar misrepresentation challenges they have had in the previous at least 6 months, or at least 6 months. So that way you'll come to know whether they have enough understanding about those immigration matter regarding misrepresentation, so that it's well worth your time. Many lawyers charge anywhere, all depends on how big their office and practice is. They will charge anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 up to $10,000 for this. And
Okay.
I must warn you that the judicial review, uh, you have to first file a leave petition. That means the court must first agree to take this case.
Mm-hmm.
They may not, and they can deny you right there. And if they
Okay.
if they do, the the approval rate for misrepresentation in immigration cases is very small. I don't have the stats, but I would say at least no more than like 1 out of 50 or something. So
Okay.
let's say 1 out of 50 cases will be overturned. The judge can only decide that proper procedure was not followed in the case, and they can ask the visa officer to have this redetermined by a different officer. That's all they can do, and you hope that he agrees with your logic. So that's
Oh,
all it is. But just to save money and time, uh, if you are in Toronto, you can file the leave petition on your own. I don't know how much does it cost. It is not more than $150. So that means you can go to the federal court yourself if they are
mm-hmm.
open, and ask them that you don't have a lawyer. As a self petitioner, can you file a leave petition on your own? And the
Okay.
the cost is listed on the website, which is I think around $150, not more than that. And you can file the petition. That way you will not miss out on time. And
Okay.
once the petition is under process, and so they will let you know, they will ask you to submit all the documents, refusal letter, and other things, and then they will decide. Once they decide that the court will take the leave petition, then you can choose any lawyer to you know to to proceed with your arguments.
Okay. And another question I have is, someone from these lawyers, as I'm contacting everyone I can, they said me that MP can help us out. I mean, they, I don't know how we gonna.
I here's my take on this. Any lawyer who is told you that MP can help you, they are not worth a second visit.
Oh, okay.
Okay, any lawyer who's telling you this statement itself is telling me that they are not well experienced in immigration matters of judicial review, especially misrepresentation. Right now, a member of parliament is powerless. Member of parliament has no interfering or no influencing power on this matter right now. The only authority at this point of time in this case is a federal judge. That's it. No member of parliament, no, not even minister of immigration, not even prime minister, not even nobody. Only the federal court judge. If if the judge decides that there was some deficiency in the legal process, how it was done, and other things. Only he has the power. He or she has the power to overturn this decision and refer this case to be redetermined by a different officer. That's all. Can you hear me?
The file we have applied for federal. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my response to that thing. So uh, either way, you have a tough road ahead. You have to do this on your own, unfortunately, and then hope to find a passionate and enthusiastic lawyer who understands misrepresentation clauses in immigration. As I said earlier, there are thousands of lawyers all over Canada. Most lawyers make money through miscellaneous applications like real estate, bankruptcy, and corporate law, and insurance law, and contracts, and other things, uh, including immigration. But not all of them, you have to understand this, not all of them are specialists in immigration. In Ontario, if you went to the Law Society of Upper Canada website, you can filter and search all the lawyers who are certified in immigration law. And then that way you will know that these people have undergone a specialist courses, or they have chosen to be categorized in a certain specialty. At least you have a better way of filtering and reaching the right lawyer for you. And out of people who are specialists in immigration lawyers, and then now you have to do a search on who is specialist in defending misrepresentation cases, because some lawyers can do appeal at the immigration appeal division, sponsorship application, maybe at the border, and maybe refugee application, then humanitarian compassionate. But defending a misrepresentation application as a JR is a totally different ball game, and then you need somebody who has experience in doing this. Otherwise you will waste your time and money.
Okay, sir. Okay. And sir, what about the file we have applied for federal and all?
I'm sorry, I can understand. Say that again. Hello, you're breaking
And
up.
now
I'm sorry, I cannot understand this.
I'm asking, what about the file I have applied for federal now?
What about your file? There's some problem in your connection. I cannot hear you. I'm sorry. What did you say? What about what file?
I have applied.
I cannot understand you. You have to repeat the question.
My federal file, sir, I have applied for federal.
Oh, so it has no effect on your personal file. This application, this problem, this refusal for your husband has no effect on your own personal immigration in Canada. It has no effect.
We had his name on it.
Huh?
We had his name on it.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. So he will be excluded. So his eligibility will be excluded on it for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Unfortunately,
Thank
that's
you.
it. Thank you. Take care. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.